The reception hall shimmered beneath golden lights, laughter bouncing from wall to wall. Yet at the father's table, she sat still, nervously twisting the napkin in her lap. She couldn't even explain to herself why she'd come. The bride was only a distant cousin, and almost everyone else was a stranger. Each time her gaze drifted across the room, she saw clusters of friends clinking glasses, couples leaning close, people sharing inside jokes. Not one pair of eyes met hers. Shifting in her seat, she wondered if anyone could sense how misplaced she felt. With every toast, every cheer, every shared memory that didn't belong to her, the weight of her solitude grew heavier. She thought of slipping out unnoticed, disappearing before anyone realized she'd been there at all. That was when a deep voice cut through her thoughts. "Pretend you're with me," a man murmured, leaning subtly toward her table. Startled, she looked up and met his eyes. He stood tall, sharp in a dark suit, his steady confidence clear in the way he carried himself. Before she could answer, he gave a warm smile and lowered himself into the seat beside her. "You don't mind, do you?" His tone was gentle but assured, as if he already knew her answer. She hesitated, then gave a small shake of her head, unable to find her voice. For the first time that evening, she didn't feel invisible. As the music swelled and the dance floor filled, people began to notice them sitting together. He rested his arm lightly along the back of her chair, leaning in to speak as though they were long-acquainted friends. Curious whispers stirred among the guests, but in his presence she felt shielded, his calm confidence protecting her from judgment. Their conversation began softly, about the bride and groom, about how weddings could be overwhelming. His voice was even, kind, never intrusive, yet inviting her to open pieces of herself. To her surprise, she laughed, truly laughed, for the first time in months. The loneliness that had clung to her like a heavy coat began to slip away. At one point, he reached across and brushed her hand. "They're watching," he whispered with a playful grin. Her heart jumped, not from the touch itself, but from the realization that she didn't mind pretending. Not with him. In fact, for the first time, it didn't feel like pretending at all. As the evenings stretched on, the bride herself approached with a bright smile. "I didn't know you two knew each other," she said in surprise. "Old friends, just catching up," he replied smoothly, flashing her a reassuring look. She played along, cheeks flushing as her heart raced with the thrill of sharing a secret only they understood. When the night drew to an end and guests began drifting away into the cool darkness, she stood uncertainly, unsure what to say now that their little act was over. Had it just been a kindness, his way of sparing her embarrassment? Or was there something more behind that steady gaze? He walked her outside, the streetlights casting soft shadows around them. "You look like you needed someone tonight," he said simply. There was no charm in his tone, no hidden motives, just sincerity. Her throat tightened, tears threatening. Because he was right. "Thank you," she whispered, voice trembling. "I don't even know your name." He extended his hand, this time properly. "Ethan," he said. Her own hand shook as she placed it in his, but the warmth of his grip calmed her. She shared her name in return, and for a moment, it felt like the beginning of something neither of them had anticipated. As he walked her to her car, the silence between them felt easy, not lonely. She realized that sometimes life shifted not through grand gestures, but through small, unexpected moments, a whisper, a laugh, a hand offered when you least expected it. That night, she no longer felt unseen, and deep down, she wondered if she had been pretending at all. When he opened her car door, she lingered, looking at him one last time. The night air was cool, but inside, her heart was lighter than it had been in years. "Maybe we'll meet again," she said softly, half afraid of wishing for too much. He only smiled, that same steady smile that had steadied her before, and nodded. Driving away, she replayed the night in her mind. The whisper, the laughter, the comfort of not being alone. Whether or not he would stay in her life, she knew one truth with certainty. A stranger's kindness had changed her night, and perhaps her heart forever.